Deb Harkness, and I'm here with Annabelle Mitzman for my very first professional tarot card reading. I've just learned from Annabelle that she has been doing the tarot since she was about 18, which very recent in time ago, myself as well. And so I have the great privilege of sitting down with Annabelle and exploring something that plays a major role in the Blackbird Oracle, which is a use of cards as a divination and self-exploration technique.
Fantastic. And I think we might start off, given that your historical background, maybe we should start with the Celtic Cross.
Okay.
The Celtic Cross will be 10 cards, one at a time. The first card will be covering you where you are right now. The second card is crossing you as a sort of hurdle or something we need to apply ourselves to get over or think about. The third card will be crowning you this week, last week, next week, last few weeks, next few weeks. The root card, I talk now about epigenetics. Epigenetics has happened in past generations, and it lies on top of our gene code and affects the way we respond to things. So I used to talk about past life experiences, but I think the scientific background of epigenetics is interesting. The recent past, the future, you're moving into your future self, your home environment, hopes and fears and outcome. And I like to say it's your foot on the accelerator or the brake, but I do quite like timing, so it'll be about 6 to 9 months. Give those a little cut, and then I shall spread them out.
All right, so there's a cut like that.
Thank you. And I'm going to spread them out here. And you're going to give me 10 cards.
Mine never looked like that. Okay, that's another time. Okay, it is
Covered by the Page of Wands and crossed by the Hermit, crowned by
this one wants to come on out, so why don't we do that one?
the World.
Oh my.
Arguably the best card in the deck, of course.
Excellent. We like that. We like that.
And
This
the
one's poking out.
The Devil, I should say so.
Well, we're getting a lot of major arcana cards.
Yes,
aren't
you've
we?
got 3 out of the 4, and they're 27% of the deck, so we're running high on the temperature. Past the 4 of Cups, and future you're moving into.
I closed my eyes.
The
so I
3
didn't-
of Cups, rather lovely. Future self, your response to that?
It looks like community and celebration.
It is, and if you look here in the past with the 4th cup being offered, those 3 cups standing, here they're back to being raised there. So
Interesting.
we'll get there. Your 5th
Oh,
card.
I can't wait.
Your 5th card is your future self, your response to that. We're going on.
Okay,
We want 4 more cards.
Oh my goodness. Okay. That one.
Future self is the Queen of Pentacles, your home environment, the Chariot, hopes and fears,
Okay,
the
this is
Tower. I love that. And where it's leading. Enough drama here. The 8 of Cups. Okay, so first of all, I talk about the cards as a whole, and then I go through them individually. So as you might notice, you've got 2 above average of the majors. You've got 50% majors. So in other words, what does that mean? It means, okay, I'm seeing you for the first time. A lot of my clients always run at 50% majors, and I always say they're the people you read about in the newspapers.
right.
You know.
Okay.
So I have a lot of drama on my table, and because it's your first time, I don't know whether, it's because we're in this period now, or whether this is just normal. I mean, it's sort of normal for me too. So here we are, high on the majors. When we look at our other suits, we have 4 suits. You have no swords. Swords are to do with air, head, logic, truth, wisdom, decision making. Heightened on the cups, which is water and your emotions. You're covered by this rather exciting, rather lovely wand, which is our fire, intuition, thinking out of the box. And your future self is the rather lovely pentacle of the Queen of Pentacles. And both the wand and the pentacle are in court cards. You're covered by the Page of Wands. And we have 4 pages in our suits, and they're a bit like 4 students in the classroom. But I always say The pages can be any age, any sex. Everything is, very loosely open. But the idea of the pages is they bring an aspect of youth. And in the wand, it's where we look to the tip of our wand for inspiration. What's next? What do I do next? The world is out there and we're not being held down by just being stuck. We're thinking out of the box. We're looking at the tip of our wand, a bit like we do when we first graduate or we first come out into having choices to make. Now, the obstacle crossing your path, or the thing that you need to think about and look at, is very much about the Hermit. Now, the Hermit is a major card. It's number 9. 9 is ruled by the moon. And if you see, he's got the star inside his lamp and the staff to support him. And this card is very much about going to the beat of your own drum. This is about wisdom, circumspection, my path, where's my integrity? I want to do something almost for me, but then again, there's so many different things out here with this Page of Wands, and you are crowned this week, last week, next week, the last few weeks by the World. The World is a very beautiful card. As you can see, you have the wreath of success around you. You have the 4 major astrological symbols and the 4 elements in each corner. And as we know, the alchemists were always looking for the secret of life, looking for that sort of idea of how do I live forever, or where's the magic. By putting together the 4 elements, they made the 5th element of ether or spirit or magic. And there you are in the center of your world. Right now you are pitched to be in the most wonderful place, and you've got this rather exciting new book out.
And she looks so balanced,
which
I've never noticed about the World card. I always focus on the outside, but not the fact that she's standing in the middle in that 5th element, in her element.
Exactly. Absolutely in her element.
We did not stage any of this, not the alchemical symbolism, not anything. So just, it's a lovely place to be, as you say.
It's the best card in the deck, to be honest. We can't argue with that. But,
no.
And when we look at your root card, I rather love the fact that you've got the devil. So many years ago, I actually taught a course of tarot to a team of forensic psychologists who work with police. And they wanted to know about the major arcana, and it was actually to use with children who'd been through trauma and very difficult times, to use face up, not face down as divination, for them to be able to use the pictures to describe what they've been through. And so they needed me to teach this 6-week course about cards. And then at the end of the course, they said, well, Annabelle, we want to teach you something. So I said, well, thank you, go ahead, because I learn more from the people I teach actually quite often than anything else. And they said, your devil card is going to divide your clients or patients or whatever you want to call the people who come to you into 3 groups. One are the people who look at the devil and go, oh, the devil. Some are going to look at the devil and go, oh, not the devil. And some will sort of have a very healthy relationship where they neither embrace nor they reject.
Yeah.
And this is how comfortable you are with your passion. Now, it is the sex, drugs and rock and roll of the pack. It is the card of obsession. And if, you're sort of obsessed with the devil, then it is all about the drama. But for you had a very healthy relationship, I felt, and this is how you've managed, I believe, to reach your world, is by being comfortably obsessive.
Comfortably, I love that. I'm going to use that with friends and family who say, you're a bit obsessed.
Yes,
I'm
exactly.
comfortably obsessed.
Comfortably obsessive. And that's your devil in your root, in your epigenetics, and it's come, I'm sure, from past generations of people who've got a similar aspect and a similar drive, because this is your libido, this is your drive.
Desire,
yes, and ambition, and all those things.
I love these 3 cards that are the sort of my fear of missing out, my alternative sort of more introspective and that kind of deep drive underneath. It's a lovely, it's a great set of tensions. And so,
and if we look at the past here, this is quite interesting because we've got these 3 cups standing, which is all the joy and the happiness and the love and all of this, and the 4th cup's being offered. And we often say it's a card of feeling somewhat satiated, or yeah, that was good, but do I really want to commit to this? So they often say there's a slight fear of commitment on often one or both sides. So what has brought the joy, some of us sometimes look at it a bit like it's a poison chalice. Well, it's because when you get a square or a 4 and you apply it with the heart and water and love, it does feel a little bit like, not quite entrapment, but yes, I love this, but I don't want to be caught up and trapped in the thing I love. Does that make sense?
yes.
Okay.
I like to talk about my need for escape hatches.
Yes.
I love little escape hatches. No matter how passionate and obsessive I am about things, I like that ability to...
And you need time for yourself. And that's what the hermit in obstacle, because I do believe that a lot of your natural way of being is, yes, you're very gregarious and sociable, but there's a need for you to be alone as well. And if you were to see the flip side of this card, the 4 of Cups, it's the 4 of Swords, and the 4 of Swords is a soldier lying on top of a tomb with a sword running along his kundalini, one over his 3rd eye, his intuition, one over his throat, how he expresses himself, one over his heart, how he feels. In the background is a stained glass window showing Jesus healing the sick, and it's the Greta Garbo card, I want to be alone. So I often say, you know, when you want to see any card, look at the flip side. Cups and Swords, Wands and Pentacles. So there we have that inference there. Going into the future, 3 of Cups, everything to celebrate. All back to happy, fabulous, isn't it? Wonderful. And we always have to notice with these 3 women with their 3 cups raised, they're all equal, they're all sharing together. And 3 is the number of creativity, and here we share from the heart. Our future self, which is our response to this joy, is the nesting card of the lovely Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles, I often call her the Queen of Hearth and Home. I'll tell you something very funny. Years ago, I used to write with the Express and OK, and they built this huge sort of all singing, all dancing, automatic website where you could do all these myriad of readings. It was all done in Flash, so in the end it had to be let go. But in India, and this was a long time ago, when they started transcribing what you'd said, and this was a year's work of readings, and I think it was 3,500 files. When they got to the Queen of Pentacles, instead of the hearth and home, they wrote the heart and home. I thought, oh, I quite like that. Maybe she is the Queen of Heart and Home. So
the hearth is the heart of the home.
Yes, that's right.
Exactly.
So it really actually worked that some small person in India who was transcribing my voice notes actually hit it in a way. So she's a queen. So queens are based in the cup and the heart. The pentacle is earth, money, home, and feeling valued. I always say the Queen of Pentacles likes to be the nester, but she also likes everything to be very lovely. She's got a very strong aesthetic sense. She's very good at sharing, but she doesn't just share to be used. You know, she knows her own value. And also in the workplace, I talk about the Queen of Pentacles, and often we talk about the Queen of Hearth and Home. Any work she does, she needs to be valued and rewarded with it. She doesn't just do it to throw away. So that's why she sits on her throne. She's the queen of family, roots, money, material, and making things beautiful for everyone as well as herself.
That's a good future.
And that's your response to this world and 3 of Cups, you see. Now, your future home environment is the Chariot. Well, the Chariot goes rather nicely with that devil, because, you know, the Chariot is the heroic quest. It's where we set our sights, and there you see on the canopy the stars. It says shoot for the stars. And if you see these black and white sphinxes, which are the yin and yang, the masculine, the feminine, the 2 sides of our life, how do we get to our goal? By having not one thing on the go, but 2 things on the go, splitting our beam, and controlling it by pure willpower. That's why there are no reins. You see, there are invisible reins. So this is saying, in your home, set your quest, whatever it is, keep two sides of your life apart, but this is how you get to it, because you need two things. Otherwise, if you only put your energy into the one side or the other, you'll veer too far to the yin or the yang, the masculine or the feminine. It says you need the split beam.
Yeah.
Your hopes and fears, well, there's the wonderful dramatic tower. And this actually, the story of this card came from the story of the Tower of Babel that was built by the descendants of Noah to avenge God for sending them the flood. And he sent down, the tongues. So this is really about saying, well, fear is to build on the wrong foundations, to have things that we then have the short, sharp shock, although with the tower it's only a short-term disaster, but sometimes we go, oh gosh, I want to make sure that my ladder's against the right wall, that every brick is in the right place. And it leads to this 8 of Cups, which is where we've got 8 standing cups. This 8 of Cups, by the way, when I teach, I say it's the minor to the hermit. There's a similarity. They've both got a staff.
Yes.
The hermit goes by the star in the lamp, but the 8 of Cups goes by the light of the eclipsed moon. And this is the point at which we say, I loved that, and I acknowledged I loved that then. Right now, I have to go and follow my passion, Page of Wands style, and find a new thing to invigorate me and excite me. So it's a new journey that we do without kicking the cups over, with accepting that was that, and now I'm bringing a kind of, it's almost like bringing fresh blood or fresh oxygen or fresh something in.
Looking for that next spark.
Although the next spark is here, and with the world there and all these cards in the chariot in your house.
So I'm there. I'm
You're
at the
there.
sparking point.
You're at the sparking point. So that's your Celtic Cross, and now we can do a specific reading or two on specific questions. What would you like to look into?
Well, I'm intrigued by the Chariot card.
Yes.
Because one of my aspirations, I think this is probably will resonate with a lot of people watching, is that I have this idea that I should be able to hold everything in perfect balance all the time.
Yes.
And through sheer force of will. And so I'm always wanting to know about how can I achieve a healthy balance between my home identity, my creative hermit self, and the world.
Okay,
So
that's very nice. I rather like that. Can you give those a little cut, please?
Yes.
Or shuffle. Thank you. So you want to really achieve this balance in your life?
I think so.
Yeah.
I just don't know what it looks like. I sometimes think maybe it's not every day in perfect balance. Maybe there's a bigger perspective. I feel like balance would be, like the magic elixir.
Yes.
That if only I could be in a perfect state of balance.
Well, that's the alchemy type situation. How
Yes,
we get all these things together.
There you go. Guilty. Yes. And I guess it's all those years of reading alchemical texts and the quest for that fifth element as being the sign of enlightenment, of purpose, of alignment. However,
which is your hermit, by the way. That is the looking for our purpose. And I often say that if we go to the beat of our own drum and each step we take is according to our values, one day it sort of just taps us on the shoulder and we realise we're doing it.
Faust's good devil.
So
I'm the angel.
Let's pick a card for you in this concept idea of balance. One card. I'm going to do what I call a specific reading, so we'll just make King of Cups. I love that. And so now a card for achieving emotional balance. One card. Ten of Swords. And now a card for achieving mental balance, as in sort of the control aspect of our life. 8 of Cups. This is where your cards are exceptionally fascinating.
Okay.
And I know that you're going to understand this because it is a bit complicated though. First of all, you in the idea of achieving balance, you've got the King of Cups. You see, all kings are based in the head, the logic, the sword, all of them, all four kings. But this is the King of Emotions, which is Cups, okay? And interestingly, in your heart department, you have the sword, which is the logic, and in your in your mental department, you've got the cup. Now, what we say with the King of Cups, it's like his primary mode is in conflict with his suit. And so
that just resonates with me. I don't even know where you're going next, but that resonates with me.
So I'm a Libra. So everything is always between, to me, head and heart, right? This is the kind of the balance we're trying to do. And I often say that this, I know he's got a sort of Pisces fish around his neck, but maybe it reminds me a little bit more of the Libran man, who is, I mean, although, as I said, all these cards are both sexes, but that kind of masculine and feminine. So the king wants to be in control, but you can't control the emotions because the emotions are feelings. And so we permanently feel a little all at sea, but we have the sensitivity, we have the heart, we have the feelings, but then there's this thing of how we actually navigate and control this. So this is the eternal question. And to me, it's the eternal question also of somebody with a history background, because one's constantly looking for the source.
Yes.
Where's the source? Where's the logic? How do I feel? How do I respond? And how I get this balance of sort of truth and emotion. And that's what that card really is all about. I often say the King of Cups sort of, he is a ruler because he's a king, but there might be a little bit of him which might just prefer to go back to being the Knight of Cups.
Yes.
I'd just rather go back to being the Knight, you know.
I often think to myself, I just want to be a student again.
Well, this is it. I'd rather just take a step back. Anyway, so
okay.
So when we look at you achieving emotional balance, I mentioned to you before that I'm always looking into the back of the card. What would be on the back of the card? And on the back of the card of the Ten of Swords would be the Ten of Cups. So we talk about the relationship between the head and the heart, and to find emotional balance, what we need to do, let go of all the need to control and surrender. And that's when we get that rainbow in the sky and the happy children and the happy parents, and everything's happy because we're all happy because we've let go of having to control the outcome. And so really this card has the rather strong strap line of the death of the ego, the relinquishing of control, and the metamorphosis, because there's a new day coming up. It's like the idea of the butterfly coming out of the chrysalis, and apparently, I don't know if it's true, somebody once cut a chrysalis sort of open to try and help it, and of course it only gets there through fighting its way out. That's how the strength in your wings comes, and this is how you find the emotional balance by your constantly searching, and you've been having to control certain aspects, and then at a certain point it's like that Frozen song, Let It Go, you know, which my grandchild is singing to me a lot now. Yes. So, you know, this is it, is just let it go, emotional balance is here, let go of the control, and just surrender to love and feelings.
Okay. So now, this is the emotion side.
And the emotional side, you've got the Ten of Swords, which is interesting, because I would say, you know, this is a very normal way when you're somebody who likes to deal also in truth and facts and wisdom. It is just about surrendering to the emotions. And then when we look at the mental side, we've got the Eight of Cups, which was the card at the end of your Celtic Cross. So if we look at having mental control, it's about being able to acknowledge what we've loved, and that has that place there, and then go by the light of this eclipse moon to follow our passion. So the mental control for you comes through your passion, your search for the new journey and the new adventure, really.
Yeah, the quest.
The quest, that's it.
Amazing. I love these because you would think that they would be
in reverse.
In reverse.
Yes, exactly. But I love it because you've got the ultimate card in the middle for your balance of the reverse.
right.
So the reverse is completely, 78 cards here. There are 14 cups and 14 swords, and out of them, how did you manage to get basically the essence of the sword and the cup, and the sword in the cup area, and the cup in the sword area? Sorry, it's all so complicated, but I
love it. It's very structural. My heroine loves a whiteboard, and when she thinks, she moves pieces around on it and sees the pattern.
Yeah.
And I use that in the Blackbird Oracle with the cards because I thought, well, that's very similar. And so when I see them laid out like this, it's amazing the levels that you can see if you really take time to look.
Exactly.
And the sort of the tensions. I'm just seeing all of these really wonderful tensions, which as a creative person, I think of tension as the root of creativity. Right?
Absolutely.
When you're holding things. So the analytical and the empathetic.
And that's what this is, because the one without the other, we don't get to that sort of almost Big Bang moment unless we have that tension.
Right.
It's almost like with the struggle, we fly free, and then we get the really exciting things happening.
Yeah. Back to the chariot and some
Yeah.
ways. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Is there anything else you'd like to look at?
Well, I've had a bit. Speaking of the Ten of Swords, one of the big changes in my life recently is that in 2021 I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer,
Gosh.
which I just made a very conscious decision to frame it as an opportunity.
Yes.
And
interestingly, the Ten of Swords quite often comes with that, because I tell you, the thing is with the Ten of Swords, one does feel when one's first diagnosed with something major like that, our bodies let us down and whatever, we might have those feelings, and then we realise we have an opportunity of life, and that's that metamorphosis where we know that cancer loves fear, and the Ten of Swords is all about letting go of the fear and just going, I'm alive, I'm alive. I'm going to take whatever it takes to live, and live every minute.
that is the moment when I first sat down with my oncologist, I said, I am not done.
Yeah.
I have more work to do and that I want to do, and I need your help because I need your help so that I can live.
Yes.
Because it's not curable. It's not,
No.
so I am really interested in this idea of how can I don't know even how to say it, how can I remain aligned with that desire to live to the fullest without the fear that it's going to come back. That's a very real fear. Without the guilt or shame that somehow I must have done something wrong. What did I do wrong to make the cancer? Turns out it was epigenetic.
Yes.
And to really just embrace, in a way, for somebody who likes to control, as the card showed, that spirit of how to stay aligned with that. I think it's very hard in the modern day to have that alignment.
Absolutely.
With just living, really living, not existing, not passing through.
Living in the moment and enjoying and really getting to our goals, because we see that you have this huge ambition.
Right.
So cut the cards.
Okay.
And maybe we could just do the North Compass spread that I mentioned before, or the North Star. So in terms of your diagnosis and staying well, we're going to put you on the table, how to set your North Star to make the best and most of every minute, what root skills you have to support you, what to let go of, and what's coming in the future. 5 cards, please.
Okay.
You, beautiful.
More cups.
Yes, but a lovely, lovely cup. And it's the Queen of Cups. So this is you in setting your North Star or North Compass. And now the next card will be about setting it. 7 of Cups. What root skills you have to support you.
Look at them. They're all full of different things. Okay, I can't wait to hear about this. I can't wait to hear about that. Okay, that one.
7 of Wands. and what to let go of.
Okay. You know, I'm always drawn to that one. I'm going to just...
The Empress, that's fascinating. And what's coming in the future? Oh, the moon. People love the moon.
Okay.
So,
I love the moon, I have to say.
Well, I read for a lot of psychotherapists, psychoanalysts, psychiatrists, all the people in those areas do love tarot. And they come because they need to debrief, obviously. And they always say, oh, I love the moon. The moon is know thyself. And, you know, it is the world of yin. It is the unknown, but it's very, very emotive.
Right.
So we've got these two major cards, 2 cups and 1 wand. There you are in setting your North Star or North Compass. I call it both things because I never know which one I should call it. Queen of Cups. All queens are based in heart and loving and sharing and cup world.
I love it. Cup world.
Cup world.
I like cup world.
And you have the Queen of Pentacles as your future self. You see, the cups and the pentacles are the sharing suits. They're the feminine suits. The swords and the wands are the masculine, let's say, or the ego type suits. Now, the Queen of Cups is really the archetypal queen. She sits on the island of shells. She's not like the King of Cups who feels a bit all at sea.
Right.
You know, the Queen of Cups is grounded in who she is. She loves and supports and gives to everybody. She makes everybody feel good. She's everyone's best friend, mother, daughter, whatever. You know, she's there for everyone. Setting your North Star on North Compass. Now, you've got 2 7s going on. 7s are ruled by Venus. 7s are magical numbers. But they're magical numbers where everything can happen, but then sometimes it can also slightly dissipate.
Yeah.
So the 7 of Cups has a warning attached to it, which says, choose a cup. Don't put a little bit in each cup, because if you do that, then it's not going to be one of those things. It's going to be all the things that might be.
Yes.
So what it really says
I
is...
feel very seen now for all of you. I feel very seen by the cards in Annabelle.
So look, there's castles built house of sand. There's the money. There's the wreath of fame and success. And you have that wreath all the way around you with the world.
Yeah.
We've got the dragon of individuation. What we're doing now, the kundalini, the snake, the life force. Holy Ghost is there, something divine, you know, a divinity that's guiding us. Our true selves. What do I really want? So, sorry about my cough. It's
allergy time in
London. It is. I'm afraid I had a bronchial pneumonia, and now I just got
no.
It was in February.
Oh no,
it's
no.
Fine.
I'm glad that you're all right.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's all fine. It just sounds much worse than it is. So, what can I say? Choose a cup. You need to make a decision to choose what it is that your next focus is. Don't allow yourself to get drawn into too many different things. Your root skill, your root strength. The 7 of Wands is the original diversity card, because you might not have noticed he's got a shoe on one foot and a boot on the other. Now, what does that really mean? He's on the higher ground. He's a wonderful multitasker. But what it says is, you want to do things your way. And that's your root skill, to do it your way.
Okay.
So the wand is always the intuitive, the rebel, the person, and you remember the chariot was your 7.
Yeah.
So that chariot was that idea of the success that the 7 can bring when we maybe take on more than one thing. But here with the 7 of Cups, it's saying to set your North Star. Let's just choose one of those things first as the ultimate thing, and then we will split it into 2, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, good.
It does indeed.
And what to let go of with the Empress? Well, funnily enough, the Queen of Cups would be very closely related to the Empress. The Empress is the mother. It is about fertility and fecundity and the Venus heart and all this symbol of feminine power and growing, and really also maybe about the idea of the hormonal female. And it's almost like saying, let's let go of part of that.
Yes, well, and I have physically, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's been part
That's
of
it.
the journey.
Yes,
is
yes.
that there's an awful lot of the things that biologically say you're female that
That's right.
are no longer in the building. They're,
Yes. And it also would sort of say you're better off without
mhm.
that extra hormone
Yes.
or hormones. That's what's going to be your best friend, is not to have that.
Right. No HRT for me. I am
Absolutely
is
not.
clear.
No.
Yes.
And no, I forgot what they're called, phytohormones or whatever.
Yeah,
the ones
no,
that
yeah.
replicate them naturally, but they can be much stronger than
Mhm,
anything
mhm.
else. So that would say, let's let go of that. And what's coming in the future is the moon. Now the moon is know thyself,
Mhm.
go deep inside.
Mhm.
And yes, you've probably already been through the valley of the shadow of death. You've already come to terms with thinking, oh my God, what if I die? And now you realise you're alive.
I
And what
am
we say
alive.
is the sun is behind the moon.
Mm.
So this is about manifesting what's right by you.
Right. Which relates a little bit to that.
Yes,
In
exactly.
the cups or the dragon.
And do you have a wish of what you really want to manifest in the next year?
Yes.
Just
Creativity. I
Okay.
want to really honor my creative side, and because I feel like that's when I feel most alive.
Right. So let's pull one card on achieving that.
Okay.
And I really need to sort of run and get my, sorry.
Uh-oh.
I've got to run and get my business card just to prove to you, out of 78 cards, that's the card.
I was actually going to ask Annabelle for this before I left the building.
So I put that on my
That.
business card because to me it was the most significant card to use. Why? Because first of all the aces are handed by the hand of God.
Mhm.
And the Ace of Pentacles is the star inside the seed or the coin, and it's the good seed that's planted. It's the lucky break card. It's the card if people say to me, am I going to win the lottery? I say, well, okay, ask the question, buy a ticket and pull the card, and if you pull the Ace of Pentacles, you've got a good chance. I mean, to me, my lucky break was when I was a student at St Martin's. I walked into Hatchard's on Piccadilly and picked up a deck of Rider-Waite tarot cards, and after lots of degrees and a long education and various different career options, I chose tarot, and to me that was my golden seed. And this is for you and your creativity. You've got that golden seed, and this is going to be the best year.
Wonderful. And I also have to say, you mentioned the word luck. I feel so
Yes.
incredibly lucky.
Yes.
I really do
You're
feel
blessed.
that it's, that I've been very lucky with what I've come to terms with through
Yes.
my experience with cancer, and what the future looks like, and just living. So I'm
And
also
that
going
Ace
to
of
take
Pentacles
this.
is the lucky break. You see, I feel that there are some people who are lucky
Yeah.
also in cancer.
Yeah.
And we all know the statistics for ovarian, I'm afraid, is 50-50. You are the
Mhm.
50 that has got through treatment and is having a very good scenario.
Yes.
And you're the lucky 50%.
And that when you pulled that out and mentioned the word luck, I thought, well, that's not even about. I have to be alive to have my creativity,
Yes,
and I think that's the
it.
saying. Lucky you.
Yes.
You know, you've got a gate to go through. There is
That's
a
it.
future on the other side.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Amazing. For any of you who are ever tarot curious, and have always wondered what happens, it's a tool for self-exploration. And as a journaler, as you all know, I find them amazing for reflection.
yes.
I mean, I'm going to go away and be thinking about all of this for a very long time, and it just, the symbolism, I've never had anybody explain the symbolism as clear as that. So you are one educator to another. You're a very gifted teacher.
Thank you very much.
So, yes, and she does have a website. It's AnnabelleTarot.com. So with 2 L's and 2 N's.
And an E. I've got
And an E at
everything.
the end.
I've got the whole
She
lot
does.
on my
She got the
name.
full thing. So I cannot thank you enough for this.
You're very welcome.
I'm really, really talk about the spark. When you said the spark is here, it's right here, right now. This is
what makes me enjoy what I do. I'm meeting amazing people like you. Thank you.
Thank you.